I'm Teacher Mike, and today we're learning how to use the words just, still, yet, already, and ever when talking about time. And many of you probably already know these words, so what we're going to do today is quickly review the basics to make sure that you really do understand them correctly, and then talk about some more advanced things that you might not know. Let's begin with the word just. When we use just to talk about time, it basically means recently or not long ago. For example, I've just woken up. That basically means I woke up recently, or it was not long ago that I woke up. However, those are not really normal things to say, whereas I've just woken up is a normal thing to say. Or if someone asks, "What did you just say?" they want to know what you said, but not the thing that you said 5 minutes ago. The word just makes it clear that they want to know about the last or most recent thing that you said. And I'm not sure why, but we often use this in questions when someone says something that we find surprising or unusual. For example, "Sorry, did you just say that you put chocolate sauce on your pizza?" And again, I'm not really sure why we do that, because if you don't include the word just, it still means the same thing. But yeah, we definitely do that, and I don't really know why. Also, you can use just in negative sentences, but it's not very common. And we mostly do this when someone else has said that something was recent, and we want to disagree and say that it wasn't recent. For example, imagine that someone says, "John was just here." You might reply, "He wasn't just here. The last time he was here was 2 years ago." But again, you're rarely going to say things like that. The word still shows that something is the same as it was before. For example, although I'm tired, I'm still going to go to work. Even though you lied to me, I still love you. She still hasn't called me. Or if someone asks, "Do you still have that book?" That means that they know that you had the book in the past, and they want to know if that has changed. Maybe you don't have the book anymore. And I think still is a pretty simple one. People don't tend to have difficulty with it, so that's all I'm going to say about it in this video, but if you do have any questions about it, please feel free to ask in the comments. Next, we have yet. We use yet for things that we expect to happen, and it basically means at that point in time. However, we usually use it in negative sentences and questions, not in positive sentences. Here are 3 examples in negative sentences. I haven't been there yet. That means that at this point in time, or right now, I have not been there, but I do expect to go there sometime in the future. I'm not ready yet. That means that right now I'm not ready, but I do expect to be ready sometime in the future. The package won't be here yet. That means that the package will not be here at that time in the future, but I do expect it to be here sometime after that time. And here are 3 examples of how we use it in questions. Have you had lunch yet? You could also just ask, have you had lunch? That's fine too. Adding the word yet just shows that I'm confident that you will have lunch sometime today. Do you have the results yet? This is like asking, do you have the results, while also saying that you believe that they will get the results sometime even if they don't have them right now. Are you ready yet? This shows that even if you aren't ready right now, we do expect you to be ready sometime. And although we don't usually use it in positive sentences, it is possible. For example, she has yet to eat dinner. That just means she hasn't eaten dinner yet. However, using it this way is really not very common and sounds a bit too formal for most everyday conversations. Already basically means before that point in time. However, we usually only use already to show that something happened sooner than we thought it would happen. Again, here are 3 examples. Maybe you usually start feeling tired around 4 p.m., but today you start feeling tired around lunchtime. You could say, "It's only lunchtime and I'm already tired." Here, the word already tells us that you are getting tired earlier than you expected to get tired. Or maybe a friend invites you to have lunch with them. You might reply, "Thanks, but I've already eaten." In this one, we use already because your friend thought that this thing hadn't happened yet, but actually it had happened. Here's a very similar example. Maybe your boss didn't see that you sent them your report yesterday, so they ask you to send it to them today. You could say, "I've already sent it to you. I sent it yesterday." So, as you can see, already doesn't just mean that something happened in the past. What it means is that something happened sooner than we expected it to happen. There is a surprise, or there is something that one person didn't know about. And this is one that we do sometimes use in questions, but we rarely use in negative sentences. However, when you don't know if something has happened, we usually make questions with yet, not already. We usually use already in questions when it seems that something has happened, and this surprises us because it's sooner than we expected it to happen. For example, maybe you give your friend a really long book, and they return it to you the next day. You could say, "Wow, have you finished it already?" Or maybe I give my dogs dinner, but they don't seem interested in eating it. I might ask my wife, "Did you feed them already?" And yes, grammatically, it probably would be better to ask, "Have you fed them already?" However, as a native speaker from the United States, "Did you feed them already?" just feels more natural to me. And although we don't often use this word in negative sentences, it is possible. For example, "There's nothing that we haven't already tried." That means that we've already tried everything. There is nothing left to try. Or maybe you're having a party and one of your guests is leaving a bit early, and you want to show them that you are sad that they are leaving so early. You might say, "I hope you don't have to leave already." That basically means that it seems that you have to leave now, and I'm a little bit disappointed because I was hoping that you could stay longer. It's also sometimes used in tag questions. For example, "You don't have to leave already, do you?" And finally, we have ever. Ever basically means one time or more, and it's mostly used in questions. For example, "Have you ever been to Thailand?" means, have you been to Thailand one time or more in your life? Or, "Are you ever going to tell him the truth?" That basically means, I know you're not going to tell him the truth right now, but do you think you will tell him sometime in the future? And we can use this word in negative sentences, but it's more common to use the word never. For example, "I have never been to Japan." That means I have been to Japan 0 times in my life. And although lots of English teachers seem to tell their students that we only use ever in present perfect tense and we never use it in positive sentences, neither of those things are actually true. And I already have videos about both of those topics. So if you'd like to learn some different ways to use ever in positive sentences, make sure to watch this video right here. And if you want to learn how to use ever in different tenses, watch this video right here.